She's spectacular. She's spectacular. And when are we going to start talking about her the same way we talk about Caitlin Clark? I mean, you look at her skills, you look at what she is special. When are we going to start doing that? Because let me tell you something. This sister's got...
Did you catch Stephen A. Smith's most recent analysis? If so, you probably raised your eyebrows in disbelief because this man, who is regarded as one of the most respected voices in sports, had the gall to suggest that JuJu Watkins should be discussed in the same manner as Caitlin Clark. This isn't just a reach. It's a complete and utterly ridiculous notion that a player with 67 double-doubles and 17 triple-doubles should be compared to someone with 15 and 0.
Look at her skill sets, her ball handling ability, her driving ability, her shot making ability, her three-point shooting shot making ability. This sister is something special. She is spectacular. Pull up Jay right there. She is the package, and she's been the package. We saw her coming last year, but now that Caitlin Clark is gone, we should be focusing on her even more so now. And just like I told you when Caitlin Clark was the golden goose, I said that's the golden goose. That didn't mean she was the best player in the world. It meant that she was pretty damn good and coming, okay? And the fans love her.
When you examine her skill sets, you can see how well she handles balls. Her ability to drive, her talent to make shots, her ability to make three-point shots, as I mentioned earlier. When Caitlin Clark was the golden goose, I said that didn't mean she was the best player in the world. Rather, it meant that she was pretty damn good and coming okay, and the fans loved her. This sister is something special. She is spectacular. Pull up Jay right there. She is the package, and we saw her coming last year, but now that she's gone, we should be focusing on her even more. Stephen A. Smith bemoans the fact that JuJu doesn't receive more attention in the news flash, behaving like a defenseless bystander in the media apparatus. Stephen A., you are the media. You occupy one of the most powerful positions in sports and have the authority to choose who receives airtime. If JuJu isn't receiving enough attention, perhaps start by looking in the mirror.
I'm saying the only question now about JuJu is, why is she not being shown more love? Because clearly she deserves it.
He didn't merely mention JuJu's name on the first take. Instead, he went all out and asked, when are we going to start talking about her the same way we talked about Caitlin Clark? Let's not pretend that this is some singular error. The man nearly composes the synopsis himself, as though he lacks complete control over the plot of his own show.
When we see Caitlin Clark pulling up from logo range, oh, well, I'll be damned. When we see Caitlin Clark running the floor, finding Hannah Stuelke like Peyton Manning finds Marvin Harrison, well, I'll be damned.
Comparing JuJu Watkins to Caitlin Clark at this stage would be like comparing someone training for a marathon to someone who has already crossed the finish line, set the record, and waved to the crowd. It's not that JuJu isn't good. She's very good, but Caitlin Clark is already revolutionizing the sport at the professional level.
The biggest problem is this is his show, and he's decided not to talk about JuJu. That's the funny part. Deep down, I think Stephen A. knows why they're not talking about JuJu Watkins.
But the biggest issue is that this is his show, and he's choosing not to discuss JuJu Watkins. The funny thing is that, deep down, I think Stephen A. knows why they're not talking about it. He keeps acting like he doesn't understand how the media works, talking about coverage as though it's this mysterious thing that only he has control over for decades. If he truly believed what he was saying, he could have JuJu on ESPN tomorrow, where he could do an entire segment on her career statistics and future, but instead he goes for the quick viral moment, knowing full well that the comparison is absurd.
Caitlin Clark is the GOAT!
She signed my jersey! So happy, I'm crying, I'm so happy. This is the best day ever.
Caitlin Clark effect seems to be crazier than year one.
I love watching her score and just everything about her.
They went the extra mile just to watch her play here.
This is great news for women's basketball, period.
She just brings so much passion to the game, and look at all these people that just want to come and see her.
It is no secret that the Indiana Fever are the most popular team in the WNBA. It is good for the...
This is fantastic news for women's basketball because the Indiana Fever are the most popular team in the WNBA, and it's good for the entire WNBA. This isn't an anti-JuJu rant. She has talent, charisma, and a bright future, but Stephen A. didn't say she's promising. He said she already deserves the same treatment as Caitlin Clark. That's just delusional. It's not that JuJu isn't good. It's that she's not there yet, and there is no shame in that.
The thing that everybody can agree on is JuJu is special. JuJu is a great player. I love her personality. I love how she's aggressive on the court. She gets downhill, you're either about to give up 2 points or you're about to give up a foul.
You want to support JuJu Watkins, which is fantastic, but give her time and let her forge her own path. Don't act as though she's already changed the record books when the ink hasn't even dried on her first chapter. The entire segment felt like Stephen A. was throwing out a narrative to create drama where none exists.
Right, JuJu, yeah, she can score her butt off. Don't get me wrong, JuJu can score her butt off. But is she facilitated at a high level, right? Now, we're going to break it all the way down, man, because as much as I love JuJu, I just don't think she's there where Caitlin Clark is at just.
Stephen A., if you're going to push a narrative, at least make sure it passes the laugh test right now. You're not just holding the salt shaker. You dumped everything in the soup and wondered why it tastes. You don't get to create a media moment and act shocked when people don't buy the spin you built. Now take responsibility for what the machine is producing. That's how narratives go haywire when those in positions of power act helpless. And in this case, the only thing Stephen A. is truly helpless against is the harsh reality that Caitlin Clark is in her own right. Attempting to make a comparison doesn't elevate JuJu. It just makes the entire conversation seem desperate.
Throw this stat at you, right? Caitlin Clark had 67 double-doubles and 17 triple-doubles in 139 games. Caitlin was more than a scoring machine. Absolutely. She's doing more than scoring. JuJu Watkins has 15 double-doubles and 0 triple-doubles through 62 games. That's for comparison of how great Caitlin was.
You wish to discuss numbers. Let's get started. For JuJu to match Caitlin Clark's 2,000 career points in 75 games, video game material, she would need to score 33 points per game for the next 12 games in a row to tie her. That's not on the rise. She's pursuing a comet with roller skates.
Fastest to 2,000 points NCAA, Caitlin, 75, Della Dunn, 75. JuJu Watkins has 1604 in 62 games. Need to average 33 points over the next 12 to hit 2,074.
You wish to discuss numbers. Let's get started. For JuJu to match Caitlin Clark's 2,000 career points in 75 games, video game material, she would need to score 33 points per game for the next 12 games in a row to tie her. That's not on the rise. She's pursuing a comet with roller skates.
62 games for Caitlin and JuJu. We see the points for Caitlin. 1662, 1604 for JuJu. She averaged 26 or 27, and JuJu averaged 26, right? 433 rebounds for Caitlin, 436 rebounds for JuJu, so she won there. 471 assists for Caitlin, 214 assists for...
Do you notice this? Caitlin Clark was creating almost twice as many scoring opportunities for her teammates as JuJu Watkins while also scoring a ton of points herself. This isn't just outstanding basketball, it's MVP caliber dominance on the field. That is what distinguishes a scorer from someone who manages the entire course of a game. Caitlin wasn't merely boosting her numbers. She was leading the entire attack and improving everyone in her vicinity.
Now this is the main separation here, is what a lot of people aren't understanding. For you to be getting all these assists and still make it this tough for people to get to your scoring records, that is insane.
However, the shooting percentages provide an even more repulsive tale for this contrast. In contrast to JuJu, who is shooting 41% from the field and a shaky 33% from downtown, Clark made 46% of her field goals and 37% from three-point range. When you're making that many attempts, those percentage differences get enormous, indicating not just a poor shooting performance, but also a persistent decline in efficiency.
Now let's look at the shooting percentages, right? 46 from the floor for Caitlin, right? I mean, y'all can see the numbers. I'm just trying to read it out for y'all. 41% from JuJu. From the three, 37%. From the three, 32 or 33% for JuJu. Okay, 87 for Caitlin, 84 from the free throw.
After that, you examine the high-scoring nights in each team's initial 62-game sample. JuJu scored 20 points in 23 games when Clark dropped at least 30 points, which is still great, but Clark's regularity and consistency in scoring large amounts are exceptional. She was essentially putting together performances that could steal the show every few games. The Sports Center.
Right? 4 40-point games. JuJu had 3 40-point games. 11 35-point games. JuJu had 6 35-point games. Caitlin had 23 30-point games. JuJu has 20 30-point games.
It's not a criticism of Watkins as a player, but if we're discussing legendary status versus up-and-coming star, that's where the line is drawn. However, the real mic drop moment was when Clark recorded an incredible 67 double-doubles and 17 triple-doubles in college JuJu. She has 15 double-doubles and hasn't recorded a single triple-double yet.
Caitlin has 26 double-doubles, and JuJu has 15 double-doubles. And of course, Caitlin at this time has 6 triple-doubles, while JuJu has 0.
Has 26 double-doubles. JuJu has 15, and Caitlin currently has 6 triple-doubles, while JuJu has none. These statistics reveal a canyon, not just a gap. While JuJu is obviously talented and still finding her groove, Clark is setting all-time records that rival the greats. It's like comparing someone who has already made history to someone who might someday do so, which is why it's completely ridiculous for Stephen A. Smith to act as though they belong in the same sentence.
If this was 3 years ago, trust me, JuJu would be great. Because she would just be another, oh my God, a great women's basketball player. Oh, goodness gracious. This is amazing. There wouldn't be a conversation about it because remember, she would have just been another gust of wind. Another leaf floating through.
Speaking of Steph Curry, let's discuss his signature moves, which are similar to Prime. LeBron's step-back threes made clubs rethink their entire defense. With her endless range, Clark creates the same havoc. She doesn't just occasionally hit long shots, she also saunters into 30-footers as if it were nothing. This type of shooting puts defenders to the test in ways JuJu doesn't.
How many people shoot logo threes? How many people in the league can do that? You feel me? It's an anomaly skill that Caitlin possesses that a lot of the other players don't. I would say Sabrina can do it, and then on top of that, she can score and also facilitate. That's another piece that JuJu is.
When you compare the two athletes side by side, it's clear JuJu's style is based on physicality. She lives in the paint, muscles her way to the rim, and thrives in traffic. She is an excellent downhill driver, but there's a reason why defense teams can still block her paint and challenge her finishes.
Chart. Okay, this is the entire career shooting for JuJu. Okay. Now, like I said, her game is to drive. She's going to get downhill, and she's either going to get the 2 or you're going to give up a foul. That's her game. All right? She's unstoppable like that. And she plays to her strength, which is perfect. There's nothing wrong with how she plays. Okay? Now, I want y'all to realize how empty it is back here. All right? She don't really necessarily take these far back.
However, Clark's shot chart appears to have been created by a crazy scientist. She is making and taking shots from ridiculous distances. We're talking rainbow threes from 7 feet beyond the arc, shots that most coaches would dare try. And she is hitting them so quickly that defenders are forced to guard her almost at half court.
Caitlin's, look at how crazy this chart is, fam. I can't even see these numbers. Look at how crazy this chart is. This is asinine. All right, this is a piece of what made Caitlin special. Okay, look at how hot these areas are. And a lot of people forget that Caitlin also was a 3-level scorer.
The entire defense breaks down rotations, slower lanes open up, and teammates suddenly look like all-stars because they're getting wide open looks because of the gravity, which totally skews defenses when you have to guard someone 35 feet out. Because Clark makes JuJu, she's a threat in the lane rather than a floor spacer who stretches opponents in that way.
And it's just on fire all up in here. Look at this. Now, y'all pay attention to Caitlin. Now let's go back to JuJu's. Okay? This is the difference. This is why people was talking about Caitlin Clark the way that they were talking about her. I love JuJu Game. I'm not even making this video to crap on her. I'm just trying to get y'all to understand why JuJu isn't as captivating as...
The fact is that Clark's game isn't just revolutionary for women's basketball, it also mirrors Steph Curry's impact on the men's team. When you combine that with her vision and ability to sling cross-court dimes through traffic, you've got a once-in-a-generation talent. Even when you ignore the stats and just watch the game, Clark is playing at a different level. She's not just scoring. She's controlling the tempo, manipulating defenses, and putting her entire team in a position to succeed. In contrast, JuJu plays a more conventional role. She scores a lot of points but doesn't bend the game in the same way.